Hello everyone, it's Miss Thomas, and this is the probability of multiple events. So we have independent events and dependent events, and we need to know the difference between these in order to find a lot of probabilities when you have more than one event occurring. So independent events is where the outcome of one event does not change the probability of the other event. So this would be things like rolling dice, because what you get on one die is not going to impact what you get on the other. Anything that happens with replacement, so let's say that we are drawing names out of a hat, the probability of being drawn on the second draw would be independent of the first draw if I replaced whatever I pulled out the first time. Then, dependent events are where the outcome of one event changes the likelihood of other events. So this would be things like getting dealt hands in a card game, because obviously as the cards are getting dealt, your likelihood of getting different cards will change based on what's been distributed. Anything that happens without replacement, oops, and really anything where when the first event happens, it's going to change the likelihood of the second event. So a couple more examples. Determine if the events are independent or dependent. So our first one is selecting a month and then randomly selecting a number between 1 and 30. These would be independent because the subset, the sample space for months, is totally different from the sample space for numbers between 1 and 30. So these are independent because it doesn't matter what month I choose, I'm still going to choose from the numbers 1 through 30. Whereas selecting a month, then selecting a day of that month, these are dependent because I can't even select the day of the month without first selecting the month. So the likelihood of getting a specific date is dependent completely on what that first draw is. So knowing if events are independent or dependent changes how you calculate their probability. Generally, and probabilities is when you want two outcomes. And the probability, particularly when they're independent, is just the probability of the first one times the probability of the second one. And the reason it's multiplication is multiplication of fractions or multiplications of decimals less than 1 actually makes a smaller number. The likelihood of getting two events exactly how you want them is smaller than getting either one on their own. Otherwise, if A and B are dependent, it's a similar formula. You're still multiplying those probabilities. It's just you're going to find the probability of B after A has occurred. So that means the probability of B given that A has occurred. So looking at a couple more examples, you have 3 novels, 2 autobiographies, and 1 journal in your bag because you clearly love to read and then you like to write a little bit. You reach into your bag and grab a book. So we have 2 scenarios. The first one, your friend wants a book too, so you reach in and randomly grab another book. What's the probability that they're both novels? Well, first, is this independent or dependent? And you want to think about that before you start plowing ahead. So I've got my book out and then I'm pulling another book out. So these are dependent events because I never put my book back. So the sample space for my book, oops, that is ugly, but my book is novel, 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 autobiography, autobiography, journal. But if we are trying to figure out the probability that they're both novels, then that would assume I pull out 1 novel. So then the sample space for my friend's book is novel, novel, autobiography, autobiography, journal. So, over here for my book, the probability of getting a novel is going to be 3 out of 6, because there's 3 novels, and then there are 6 total books in my bag. So it's a half. But on my friend's for my friend to get a novel, it needs to be the probability of getting a novel, given that I've already picked up a novel. So now there's only 2 novels left. And the total has changed as well, and there's only 5 books total left. So her probability for getting a novel is different than my probability for getting a novel. So together, the probability, do this in a different color, that it's a novel and a novel is going to be equal to the probability the first one's a novel times the probability the second one's a novel, given that the first one's a novel. So my first probability was 1/2, that's that I get a novel, and then my friend, after I've taken it out, will have a 2/5 probability of getting a book, a novel. So there's a 1 in 5 chance that both her book and my book will be novels. Similarly, move that out of the way. On another day, so all the books are back in the bag, everything's back to the original situation. On another day, you reach in the same bag, grab a book, read it, return it to the bag, only later to reach in again and grab a book. So, taking my book out, I put my book back in, I want to go and get another book again. What's the probability that the first book I chose and this book I chose now are both novels? So these are independent events because I've replaced the book. Anytime you return it to the original thing, then that returns the sample space to the original sample space, and they're independent events. So we just need to know the probability of novel and novel in this situation is just probability of having a novel out of the original sample space times the probability of having a novel out of the original sample space again, because we put the book back. So it's a half times a half. So it is 1/4. So you can see, even though in both situations we wanted 2 novels, because one was independent and one was dependent, it changes the likelihood of things happening. So we have another classification, and that is mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive is when 2 events cannot occur at the same time. So sometimes mutually exclusive and independent and dependent get mixed up. So make sure you understand independent and dependent can happen at the same time, but mutually exclusive things cannot. So mutually exclusive things are like something cannot be both a refrigerator and a stove. That doesn't exist yet, so the probability of having a refrigerator stove is 0 because it's mutually exclusive. And that's the key. Probability of mutually exclusive events. Sorry, I don't have a stylus, so we're going with my hand, and this isn't working super well. So the probability of mutually exclusive events happening at the same time is 0. So we want to decide whether these things are mutually exclusive or not. 2 fair number cubes are rolled. So you're going to find that phrase, fair number cubes, that really just means a die numbered 1 through 6. What's the probability? Just, is this mutually exclusive or not? That the sum is prime and the sum is less than 4. Well, if we think about 2 dice, we can get a 1, 1, a 1, 2, a 1, 3. We're already up to a sum, actually that's over a sum is less than 4, so we're just going to cross that one out. We can also have a 2, 1, a 2, 2 is over as well. So those are all the possible sums less than 4. and the sum being prime. So when I add these guys together, that equals 2. 2 is a prime number. So here we have a sum that is less than 4, and the sum is also prime. So that means they are not mutually exclusive. So this next example, the numbers are equal and the sum is odd. So if you think of all the ways you could roll equal for 2 dice, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and 6, 6. This is the sample space for all of those outcomes. We didn't even need to do the sample space though, because if the numbers are equal and there's 2 die, then everything's getting doubled, which means it can't be odd, because if they're all doubles, they're all going to be multiples of 2, which means they're all even. So it's not possible to have both of these, which means they are mutually exclusive events. So if you have mutually exclusive events, it affects your OR probabilities. So mutually exclusive events, the probability of A or B happening is just going to be the sum of each probability. Probability of A plus the probability of B. Non-mutually exclusive events, the probability of A or B, again, is the sum of those probabilities, but you need to remember to subtract the probability of both events, because you will double count if you don't subtract this piece off and they're not mutually exclusive. Okay? So that's the tricky part there. And the way to keep OR and probability straight is and means the two events are going to occur. So you should multiply because it makes numbers smaller when you're multiplying decimals and fractions, less than 1. Whereas OR probability, it's like saying, oh, what's the probability of getting an A or a B? Well, the probability of getting an A or a B, you really open yourself up to a couple options. So you add the probabilities because that will make it bigger. It's more likely to have OR events happen. So here's our example. A standard number cube is rolled. Find the probability that the number is 3 or odd. So there's just one number cube. So that's just the numbers 1 through 6 as our sample space. So the probability it's a 3 is equal to 1 out of 6. The probability that it's odd is equal to 3 out of 6. But the problem is I just counted the 3 twice. I counted it in the 3 pile and in the odd pile. So the probability that it is 3 and odd, because 3 is both of those, so these are not mutually exclusive, is 1 out of 6 again. So the probability 3 or odd is going to add the 1/6 and the 3/6 and subtract off the 1/6. So this is a pretty simple example. So it ends up just being 3/6. You could just have counted that out, frankly, and said, okay, well, here are all of my possible outcomes that are 3 or odd, and you'll see it's, oops, I just accidentally underlined the 6. It's 3 of the 6 options, so it's half of them. But if you use a formula, that's how it works. We also have this other problem. What's the probability it's 4 or odd? Well, these are mutually exclusive events, because my odd numbers are the 1, the 3, and the 5. My 4 is not one of those things. So all I have to do is add the probability it's a 4, which is 1/6. Probability it's odd is 3/6. Add those guys up, you get 4 out of 6, which you can obviously see. So there's a 2/3 probability it's 4 or odd.